But I think what goes the most to my thought is that nobody likes the idea of the OTA using eminent domain to displace families and bulldoze homes. Nobody likes being bullied by a state organization that comes to our city and simply dumps surprise Turnpike project in our lap and dictates to us if that's going to happen, like it or not. And I suggest that we add a preamble to the proposed resolution. That preamble would be: the City of Norman does not welcome or endorse the intrusion of the turnpikes built by the Oklahoma Turnpike Authority into our community. We enter into this resolution because we are duty-bound to comply with existing state law and Oklahoma Supreme Court rulings. Access Oklahoma Plan is the law of the state of Oklahoma. The Supreme Court has spoken. They say that OTA is legally allowed to proceed, and they have done so. And we, as council members, swore an oath of office, and in that it says, I, you gave your name, do solemnly swear to affirm that I will support, obey, and defend the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the state of Oklahoma. And that oath, there's more that goes on about taking bribes, and that's not a problem. That oath obligates us to follow laws of the state of Oklahoma. Access Oklahoma is the law, whether we like it or not. The council does not get to pick and choose which laws we will enforce, ignore, or nullify, nor are we able to pick and choose which parts of the laws that we will follow. We're not a kingdom unto ourselves. We are a municipal corporation subject to the laws of the state of Oklahoma. By choosing to disobey the law, we hold ourselves above the law, and individuals on this council they expose themselves to, and the city, to legal consequences that can have profound personal and professional implications. The big thing is are we going to be, is the public going to be able to trust us? And just as the supremacy clause in the U.S. Constitution establishes that the U.S. Constitution, federal laws made pursuant to it, and the treaties under its authority constitute the supreme law of the land, and thus taking priority over any conflicting state laws. And so it is with our relationship with the state of Oklahoma. The laws of the state take priority over our ordinances, resolutions, and so forth. We're not in a position to dictate to any state agency. The council passed a resolution in March of 22 trying to stop the OTA from building turnpikes in Norman. The Supreme Court of Oklahoma ruled that that resolution had no effect on the ability of the OTA to move forward. And so we pleaded with the OTA to reroute, abandon their plans, all to no avail. I've spoken with our senator on the Transportation Committee and several House representatives in the State House asking them to change the Access Oklahoma plan without a result. The legislative bodies passed the plan and Governor Stitt signed it into law. If a group wants to change state law, they need to bring their concerns to the legislature. The legislature can change state law. Municipalities cannot. Legislators can change the requirements for turnpike construction, environmental studies, relocation services, etc. And we cannot. The council members, as council members, we are charged by the state to uphold the law in its current state and to apply it fairly and justly in our decisions for the residents of Norman. To the topic of ruining Lake Thunderbird as our water supply, what proof do we have that this will pollute Lake Thunderbird? What proof do we have that it'll ruin local shallow water-bearing sands, perched aquifers that supply our home wells? And what proof do we have that it'll ruin the Gulf of Wellington? I spent hours researching pollution from large roadways. I found that in the state of Oklahoma there are more than 6,800 bridge structures that span major rivers and lakes, named and unnamed perennial streams and creeks, and other roads, highways, and railroads. On the average, passenger vehicles and buses have traveled more than 73.7 million miles each day in 2019 on the state-owned highway system. I tried to find any reputable reports that these highways and bridges in Oklahoma contributed to any acts in violation of the Federal Clean Water Act, Clean Air Act, or any other federal environmental legislation. I found none, except for point source kinds of sources. There are 200 lakes in Oklahoma. I searched for instances where lakes were polluted by highways from other vehicles on those highways that polluted any body of water or waterway. I found no reputable reports that these highways and bridges contributed to pollution except for instances of littering from the vehicles on the roadway. Some highway bridges have been in existence over lakes since the late 1940s. And if so, if these roadways ruin our lakes, why is there no proof that they do so? The fact is the state of Oklahoma is mandated to comply with the laws and regulations of the Federal Environmental Protection Agency, and the Oklahoma Department of Environmental Quality, Oklahoma Water Resources Board, the Bureau of Reclamation, and the Central Oklahoma Master Conservancy District. This council does not have the authority to mandate expensive, time-consuming environmental testing simply by the insistence of a group that hasn't proven these tests are needed. Who is going to pay for these NEPA, EIS, and the other tests that are not required by law? OTA said it would not. The city does not propose to pay for them out of our budget. They are extremely expensive and are not required for road building or any other governmental entity in this state. Requiring them as additional tests would probably be found arbitrary and capricious by a court. The mere innuendo that roads and bridges will ruin our water supply simply by their existence does not hold water. The council must hold the legal parameters set forth by our regulatory environmental agencies. He must not be swayed by hypothetical rhetoric. The city of Norman has competent and experienced staff with the technical expertise and advanced education to accurately monitor the soil and water in the vicinity of the Turnpike and monitor it while it is in construction and post-construction. COMCD has been monitoring the water quality in the lake since 1965. We have a tremendous amount of recorded data on the water quality in the lake. We will know about any changes to the water long before anything can affect our water supply. As the impairment of Lake Thunderbird, the word impairment is being misused in the common narrative. The impairment of the lake is caused by fertilizer, which is phosphorus and nitrogen levels, and chlorophyll A levels that are detectable and contribute to algae growth, which causes taste and odor issues for our drinking water, and a lower dissolved oxygen in the water. There's also impairment from silt washing down into the lake. We are now finding that there's some contamination from mercury found in the lake's fish, as it was in 71 other lakes in Oklahoma. The Oklahoma Department of Wildlife tells us that with fish from Lake Thunderbird, we should not eat over 2 meals per month of largemouth bass over 19 inches long, sockeye over 22 inches long, but crappie, channeled catfish, spotted bass, white bass are all safe to eat. Mercury is apparently coming as an airborne contaminant from industry, coal-fired boilers, and cremation ash. None of these are at contaminant levels that cause the water to be dangerous to drink or be toxic. We treat the water that is supplied to our drinking water, and we remove these contaminants to within drinking water standards. As to the silt deposited in the lake, we know that the lake contained 119,600 acre-feet of water when it was finished in 1965. We estimate that we lose 315 acre-feet of capacity to sedimentation each year. We now estimate that after 59 years of existence, Lake Thunderbird holds 101,600 acre-feet of water, which is approximately 85% of its original capacity. The acre-foot equals 325,828.8 gallons. The lake may be losing capacity slowly, but it is not dying or toxic. When it was built, it was expected to last approximately 100 years. The city is doing all that it can to reduce or eliminate soil washing into and being deposited in Lake Thunderbird. Part of this sedimentation reduction will be the proposed wetlands project along the Little River. This project will slow the flow of the stormwater to allow it to settle and be made cleaner through the string of wetlands that the OTA agreed to build. That, along with other smaller projects of stormwater management, will help us reduce sedimentation, reduce and remove phosphorus and nitrogen, lower the chlorophyll A levels, and increase dissolved oxygen so that we can improve the lake's water quality. I urge this council to obey the laws of this state and the federal government and let us deal with the facts, not opinions or unfounded claims of impending doom. We agree that some of the changes in the city's, we should agree to some of the changes in the city's resolution that agree with existing law and accept the amended resolution. This would allow those who oppose the OTA to bring their fight to the state legislature where it belongs. Council. Yes, sir.
that was a lie.